You just shoving food in your face right now?
Mm-hmm.
So professional.
Very good.
Well, if we're going to start drinking at 10 a.m.,
Yeah.
you get a little base.
A podcast about bourbon and the ones who drink it. This is Bourbon Matters.
Welcome to Bourbon Matters. I'm Jake.
I'm Dan.
And I am also Jake.
I'm Gold Eagle Drew.
And you've probably realized by now that we have a special guest.
A very, very special guest.
By request, actually.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
This is a request to get Drew on?
How many listeners did we have ask for Drew?
Several.
At least two or three,
Wonderful.
right?
Yeah.
At
Dude, that's
least.
like that's 100% of our listeners, then.
50%. So we had to do it. So we're at Gold Eagle Bar right now. An hour before the bar opens, we brought Drew in a little early, and we're just gonna hang out for a little bit and ask Drew some questions, right?
Very good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Super excited to be here. So
Thank you, man.
And let's just say how nice of it is, Jake, to have an employee come in before he has to work to do other things as well. Like, just well done, Jake. You perfect boss.
Let's just say, how nice is it for Jake to allow Drew to clock in an hour and a half early to just come and hang out and talk on a podcast? So let's be clear, Drew's getting paid for this. It's not like he's volunteering. The rest of us are volunteering right now. Drew's getting paid.
Don't say that, because then our other guests are going to want to get paid.
Oh, we got to pay.
Yeah. Yeah, we can't do that. Sorry.
No
To
money.
be
We're
clear,
just kidding.
yeah.
But yeah, guys, Drew has been a very good employee for Gold Eagle for quite some time. If you've ever been to Gold Eagle, you probably know who Drew is. If you've been to the bar, you definitely know who Drew is. Super nice, great character, lives right by the store, grew up in Libertyville, and he's worked here for over 10 years now.
Yeah, it's
right?
going
Oh,
on
wow.
12. Yeah.
Mhm. So, like,
Wow.
I don't think most people realize that, but yeah, Drew's worked here like twice as long as I have, which is kind of crazy.
I trained Jake.
He did. Yeah, I mean, that will always go down as a cool piece of history. Drew trained me how to use the cash register here. So that was before I started working here full time, when I would just help out during like the holiday seasons and whatnot. But yeah, Drew did train me. So anytime I make a mistake, I can just blame it on him. But yeah, Drew, I've heard you tell this story many times. Why don't you tell us how and why you started working at Gold Eagle in the first place?
Well, it's crazy, and it's a good one. So it was my 21st birthday. Wanted a case of beer. I came in here, saw a sign in the window, and the rest is history, I guess.
But didn't you ask for an application and get like turned down a couple times?
Oh yeah, I
by
had to call.
Kunkel?
Yeah, I had to call back like 3 times. It was very long.
And then what? Kunkel was like, "Well, this guy is pretty serious about working here. He called 3 times and asked if he was getting hired."
That
So-
or he was like, he's not going to wait. We got hired.
And then, I mean, you want to, like, how was it when you first started working here? This was, 12 years ago, before we had the bar or anything.
Yeah, so when I first started working here, totally different situation. It was a little interesting because I had Dave and Dave as my bosses, and we definitely went through some times. I remember the first day of training, Dave was like, just grab a bottle and throw it on the floor because it's going to happen. And I didn't know what to do, but I didn't break the bottle. So pass that test.
It's good we stepped in and put some actual training
Yeah.
in place.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah.
I don't know what that's about. But definitely not endorsed by me.
No.
So Drew, first 6 years working here was just you just were like a couple nights a week on cashier,
Yeah, so-
right?
mhm.
I thought you did some stock work too.
I did at the beginning, and then I realized my personality was better in the cash up front. So basically a couple nights a week I was up front, the 5 till 9. Then I switched to like the daytimes, and then it's been about 3.5 years the bar started.
Yeah, it's been almost 4 now.
Yeah.
I think we just hit our fourth. It's either third or fourth birthday. I don't know, man. Time flies, but yeah. So Drew was a couple nights a week. Also working part time at a school down the street, and I think I was here for like at least a year or two until kind of asked you to be full time, and then you were on the cash register 9 to 5 every day.
Yeah, so that was cool. I feel like since I have like the days off were staggered, so I'd have like a Monday off and a Thursday off, and then I went to like the weekends and the bar came into it.
Yeah, honestly, shout out to Drew because he was super flexible, and
Thank you.
I remember in the beginning you just wanted more hours, and when we made you full time, we just kind of gave you hours wherever we could, and every week you kind of had like a little bit of a different schedule for a little while, and then we finally got you on like a Monday through Friday 9 to 5. But when the bar opened, I don't even think we had plans for you to work it back there full time.
No, at the beginning we had like 2 or 3 different bartenders, didn't we?
Well, I was bartending for like the first month.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, we had a couple. We had Brett Silton. We had a couple part-timers kind of kick in and help when they could. And I think you just, every time you went back there, you really enjoyed it. And I think it was like a couple months before you started back there.
Yeah.
And we also didn't really have someone there full time when we were starting up. It was a little slow. So we would, I would just kind of go back there when anyone came back to the bar. Obviously, we've come a long way. And now Drew is pretty much full time, just maybe except for like Wednesday mornings, you're up at the cash register. Other than that, you're full time back at the bar. So there's a big transition going from working here 1 or 2 nights a week just on the register to full time cashier, and then basically full time back at the bar. So it's a pretty cool progression.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it's definitely clear that you bring like a fun energy to the bar.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's probably what we should talk about next, because like you've kind of built up like a cult following.
Yeah.
Fun.
You've got a lot of people that come in just to see you and
get movie recommendations.
get
Oh,
movie
yeah, movie recommendations. Absolutely.
This is like a 2-in-1 shop. But yeah, no. So there's a lot of people that come in just to see you, and I know like when you're not here and I'm back at the bar, I get people like, "Where's Drew? Where's Drew?" So I know you've kind of got a good cult following, and that's just probably because your personality is so great and you're just super friendly and very very hospitable to patrons at the bar.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome, man. Mm-hmm.
Jake,
Yeah,
do you think that when you're back at the bar and people are asking where's Drew, you think it's because they miss Drew's personality or just hate yours?
My personality is definitely not where Drew's is. In terms of Drew can hold. Stop laughing, Dan. Wasn't that funny? Drew can hold a conversation with anyone. That's one of the cool things that one of the cool things about his personality is it doesn't matter who you are, what age, came from wherever, like Drew will start a conversation and he'll hold a conversation with you. It might be about some stupid movie that he saw, but he will still hold a conversation with you. And I think people are just like used to coming back here and seeing him. It's kind of just like comforting. I know we have a lot of people that come in like every day after work and they're like, I had a stressful day. I need to just see my boy Drew. So I think it's when you walk back to the bar, not only, do you expect a good selection and good prices of whiskey, but you expect to sit there and hang out with Drew, and that brings a whole nother aspect to it. So, yes, if that answers your question.
Yeah.
Also, like, I don't know, there's a lot of people that I feel like I don't know and they don't know me. So when they see some other guy back here that they're not used to coming in for, maybe they, I don't know, think I'm just like filling in for a shift, or I don't know what it is, but yeah, I mean, a lot of people do come in just to hang out with Drew.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
Yeah. So one of the things I do want to ask about the movies, because like every time.
And you have a movie podcast.
Yeah, me and my friend just started a movie podcast called Movie Matters. Like every time there's a master class and you're here, or I come in to like pick stuff up and like try something at the bar, somebody's always asking you about whatever movie just came out, and you've usually seen it.
Yeah, I do. So it's been like a year. So I've had this AMC rewards thing. So you can see like 3 movies a week.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I just saw The Creator the other day. That was really cool. And then The Machine with Burt Kreischer, totally different styles.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a really funny one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, Burt Kreischer is definitely probably one of my favorite comedians.
Yeah, mine too.
Yeah.
He's hilarious.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I just thought it was funny because like the first time somebody brought it up, I think you were talking about like the newest Guardians of the Galaxy or something, and like you were analyzing it like a film critic, and I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah, I do that. I like to go to the movies by myself sometimes, a lot of times, and just like take it all in, man.
Yeah.
Drew, what's one of the most common pours you get asked for in the back?
The pours? We were going through the makers for a while.
What's like one thing that people come in for and ask if you have? Is it a little bit of everything?
I mean, it seems to be a little bit of everything, but usually when I get a new bottle, like that Whistle Pig 15 year that we just put on the bar, it's already like a quarter? Maybe? It's been pouring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm gonna get a pour of that.
Go for it.
I haven't had it yet, but I've
It's
heard
really
delicious
good.
15
So
year.
we have, if you've been here, you know we've got a pretty good selection. There's probably 200 to 250 bottles at all times that are open. And another good thing that Drew does is you come back here and he sees you kind of looking, poking around. He does a really good job pointing out everything that's new. And if I were coming back here, I'd be very overwhelmed with 200, 250 bottles open unless there was one thing that I wanted to try. But I notice it all the time. Drew's like, so I got the Whistle Pig 15 that's brand new. I got the Lux Row single double barrel that's brand new. And so, he does a really good job helping you pick what you want to drink if you don't have that already made up.
Yeah.
Do you have a menu?
We do.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Online.
Yes.
The website.
Which, we've recently put more emphasis on telling people about it because there's still people that come in here that don't know that we keep the menu very accurate. I would say it's like 99% accurate especially for having like 250 things open back here. But yeah, we have QR codes now in the bar area where you can scan and pull up the menu. But if you just go to goldeaglewine.com on our homepage of our website and scroll down a little bit, everything that's open should be listed on there. So you can always go and check that out.
So the big question, I think, is do you have Pappy?
Not at the bar.
Not the moment. Yeah. We have. It was like 2 years ago. I think we had a couple. No, maybe a year.
Yeah, I mean, usually like after the holidays, after we do our end of the year release, if there's a couple bottles straggling, then we will just go ahead and throw them at the bar. But like we kind of pride ourselves in pricing everything as fair as we can. So I know every time we put Pappy on the bar, it's gone the same day.
Yeah, I think. You guys do the flights a lot too.
Yeah, we do a lot of
with
flights.
like rare bottles. Those are usually like probably the lowest prices for pours that like you can get around here.
Yeah.
So like they're very well priced, and I like the idea of forcing a flight of like rare things because you don't want somebody just buying like a bunch of shots of the same bottle, like over and over and just drinking it all themselves.
We've noticed like if we put a bottle of like Old Rip up there, someone is just going to sit there and just get, order the maximum amount that our license allows and just drink all the, Old Rip. And then maybe like 10 people will get to taste it because that's all they're going to order.
Well, the beauty of it is we have that the half-ounce limit on some of the rare bottles we're doing.
Yeah. So because we do price things pretty fairly, a lot of times when a rare bottle comes on, we do half-ounce limit, which there's only 50 half-ounce pours in a bottle. And still, like, a lot of these bottles will cash out the same day we put them on the bar. Mm-hmm. So the whole point of the bar back here is also to kind of allow more people to try these rare bottles instead of one person taking it home, drinking it, flipping it, doing whatever they want with it. This allows 50 people to taste it. So that's kind of the idea on why we limit it. So that way as many people as possible get a chance to taste it.
Yeah. And I like that you guys typically put out you almost always have picks available at the bar so that people can come try it before they buy it.
Yeah.
And that usually sells people, I'm sure, on a lot of them.
Most of the things back here you can buy. But obviously there are some things that are just pretty limited and we only get 3 bottles. So we just put it back by the bar because it's just the most fair way to let everyone who wants to try it.
Yeah. So another question for Drew. So from my experience of being here, you seem to be more of a beer guy than a whiskey guy.
Yeah, so the beer is important. I do so when the vendors come in and whatnot, I deal with the beer vendors, and then Jake does the ordering, but I communicate with Jake what to get. Mm-hmm. So I hang out more on that side. However, as spirits, you get more taste differences and whatnot. So because with the beer, you get a lot of citra, I suppose. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I really like the whiskeys and the spirits, how it's a spectrum of flavors.
Yeah, so I mean, you definitely were, I know probably 3 years ago, not really into whiskey, just all beer. And
yes.
Well, actually, I shouldn't say not into whiskey. I would say a little just mixed jumble of everything. And now, obviously, since we've gotten more into the whiskey and more advanced with our store picks and whatnot, that kind of naturally brings you in there, especially because most people that come to the bar are coming to taste whiskey. So you kind of need to know what you're selling and be knowledgeable with it. But I mean, I was going to ask if you're at home, what's your go-to drink of choice? What do you...
Well, I usually like to pair them together. So beer and bourbon or whatnot is a good. So last night I was drinking mostly just beer. I had some of that Castle and Key Rye that we did the restoration. Mm-hmm. Wonderful, yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what's your favorite brewery? What's your favorite distillery?
Ooh, brewery. Oh man, there's so many, but I love.
Do you like Tight Head?
Yes, I love Tight Head.
Yeah, Tight Head's
very good. Yeah, we do that Peace Love Gold Eagle for July 4th. It's just a wonderful beer. But yeah, they knock it out of the park. If we're going to Tight Head, I think my staple would be chili water. It's like a pale ale they do. It's so nice. Yeah,
I love the Scarlet Fire is my favorite.
Yeah,
I can't drink beer anymore, so.
No. Dang. That's a shame. Yeah. But I guess if we're looking at bourbon wise, I love Maker's Mark. The tastings are great. The single barrel program is wonderful. But then also just their standard entry level ones, like the Maker's 101, wonderful. Mm-hmm. Yeah, very nice. So.
I guess I'm the only person here that's not a huge fan of Maker's Mark. Then.
Oh, yeah.
We're big Maker's fans here.
Yeah. Dan
I'm on the same side as the cool guys, not idiot over there. So
yeah,
this is a shocker. This is probably the only time Dan and I are on the same side.
No, we both picked Buffalo over Heaven Hill.
Yeah, that's true.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I will say the cast strength Makers is pretty fantastic and affordable and available. So. I like that one. Anything that's under 100 proof that they make, though, I'm not a big fan of.
Which isn't much anymore. It's kind of just
now
the standard.
But,
yeah. I mean, Makers. This is probably a topic for another episode, but Makers, I feel can be polarizing because it's usually one of their first whiskeys that they taste, and it's not really a friendly weeded bourbon for someone who's just trying to get into it. There's a little bit of spice there,
even though it's 90 proof,
even though it's 90,
it's pretty hot. It
is pretty hot.
And flavor wise, it's soft like a weeded, but you get a lot of alcohol burn on it.
You do get a good amount of spice too. But you know, we can talk all day about how good their private selects are, how good the 101 is, how good the cash strength is, but we'll save that for another episode.
Yeah.
But
Drew, you don't have to give any specific examples, but are there nights where you end up feeling like you're on an episode of Taxi Cab Confessions with stories you get from people?
Oh, there's some stories, Dan. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's overall it's wonderful. But yeah, the stories are pretty funny. I like to forget names when I tell the stories. As of lately, I found that's better.
Well, yeah, don't put anyone on blast on the podcast.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah. So, what's your favorite story? Well, let's split it up. What's your favorite story working at the bar, and then what's your favorite story you've been told at the bar?
I think my favorite story is how all the patrons and the regulars we all came together. One of my great friends, Neil, literally just showed up when the bar started, and that's how our friendship began. We started hanging out outside of work, and just became great friends.
Neil's a cool guy.
Yeah, he is.
He's here all the time.
We can drop his name.
Yeah, that is a good story. Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, it is true. Drew has built a very nice group of friends just from people that he's met at the bar. So I mean, that just shows again how personable you are, and I think it's just a cool thing that probably you never would have met these people if we never opened up the bar, if you never started working back here as a bartender. So
yeah, absolutely good networking and whatnot. I found some really cool people.
Yeah, it's a great example of community building, especially around whiskey. Because the primary thing you guys sell at the bar is whiskey and beer. But for the sake of this podcast, let's say it's whiskey. Yeah. But, there's not many places that are intimate, I guess is the right word, where Drew's always going to be there. That there's the same group of five or six guys that are here every Friday, hanging out after work, and it's a good place to come meet people that are also interested in whiskey. And I feel there's not a whole lot of places like that outside of the social clubs, whiskey social clubs and stuff like that are a little bit more difficult to get into, where you just show up on the bar on a Friday and just start talking to people, and everybody's super chill and nice. So
it is kind of like a social
way.
club.
Yeah, it kind of is.
That you don't have to pay for.
Right.
I don't know, Drew, is there any
so favorite story that you've been told?
Favorite story that I've been told,
without
or
naming
maybe
names.
Favorite is there any any scenario you can remember? I don't know, nothing too bad, but well, I don't know what kind of rabbit hole we're getting ourselves.
No, I want to. Let me think for a second.
You can maybe think on that for a second if you need to, but yeah.
I think a good I just basically after the 3+ years of it evolving, the way I communicate with people now, and there's certain things that you say to people or the person's attitude, okay, it was a Friday, he just got off of work, he doesn't want to talk about work, let's not bring that up. You just learn how to tell your speeches.
Yeah. So what's I guess why were you interested in Gold Eagle to begin with?
That's a good question.
That is a very good question. No, so basically, the story started with I just wanted a case of Miller Lite. And then I met the Sigelniks, wonderful people. So I was working with Ron at the beginning, and Steve was here, and then transitioned to Jake. And
Brett.
Yeah, and Brett's here too. So, yeah, it's just a wonderful family, good opportunity, and yeah.
But
awesome.
Why were you so persistent on getting a job here? Because I know
most people would not try that hard.
You tell this all the time that you called back 3 different times and kept coming back because we didn't call you.
You're that employee discount guy.
There's the
trick.
There we go.
There we go.
Got that employee discount.
Got it.
And it was also, I mean, we're like 2 minutes from your house.
Yeah, it's so close.
So
it's so close right down there.
He's got the shortest commute probably out of anyone here.
Yeah. So the store's probably been here your whole life, right?
Oh, yeah. The building was built in like the 70s, but my story starts in the 90s. And yeah, it was always here. Supposedly you guys were across the street, Jake, like kind of by that gas station down there. No?
Really? I didn't know.
Before the building was built.
I don't know.
Okay, well, it might be a story.
Maybe
Some stories are stories.
Next time Steve's on the podcast, I've never heard about that.
Okay.
But it could be true. I don't know. But I mean, we did have 5 other locations, and when we moved here, this one has always done the best, so that's why we just stuck with it.
Yeah, there was 3 of them, I think, when I came into the picture, and then this one was the most profitable and the nicest one. So
yeah.
Nice.
If you could pick one of the 250 pours right now, which one would you go with, Drew?
Oh yeah. I'm enjoying this whistle pig. This is really good.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of options.
Yeah, there is a lot. I mean, it would be a single barrel. I think the Breckenridge single barrel I like a lot. It's 43.86, so it's not like overpowering, but yeah. Oh, perfect.
Nice.
Yeah.
I was using that to hold a
I wonder
monitor
if
up.
it was on my mind because it's over there. That's a great one.
This is a perfect time for a coupon drop. Drew said he loved the Breckenridge single barrel, so let's do 10% off the Breckenridge Gold Eagle single barrel, which I think it's a great price. It's a $47.99, and it is a really good like session bourbon. If there was a session bourbon,
Yeah.
because it's 86 proof, as Drew said, and it's still packed with a ton of flavor. You can just kind of sit there and sip on it all day. So let's do BM Drew. So BM for Bourbon Matters, and then Drew. BM Drew will get you 10% off a Breckenridge Gold Eagle single barrel bottle of bourbon.
Yeah, and we talked about it a few episodes ago, I think. We talked about the masterclass. And yeah, the proof to flavor ratio is very good. For being a lower proof whiskey, it's definitely got a lot of flavor, and it's definitely worth the price. It's a really good pour. That's a good pick.
It is a good one. Honestly, I wouldn't expect that from you, but
I thought long and hard, came up with a good answer.
Well, so I guess
I wouldn't, but I would expect that because I know you talk about that one.
Yeah. So a good follow up would be, where's your favorite proof point on whiskey?
I like, not like sub 100, I suppose. I mean, 100, and with the heat lies the complexity, so that can be too, like with the Castle and Key, the restoration. I like that one's got so many flavors going on, so it's higher heat, but doesn't drink like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, a nice bottle and bond or sub if I'm sipping on something.
You like Old Granddad?
Yeah, Old Granddad bottle and bond is wonderful.
Yeah.
Drew,
Thanks.
if you could change one thing about the bar back there, what would it be?
Good question.
Bigger.
Bigger.
He's always wanting bigger.
Yeah, man. Eventually.
Anytime we say we're going to expand something, his eyes light up.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. Maybe if the chairs, but I think they're pretty nice right now.
All the chairs out here.
Yeah, well, not like all of them, but at the bar rail, like how the swivel. They're nice swivels, but like if they had like a little cushion, I mean, obviously we got the limit, so we don't want to like have people there for a long time, but like a little cushion would be nice.
I think eventually we will get nicer bar stools, but yes, the original idea was we have a 3-drink maximum per person. We don't have that much space anyway, so we don't want people to just sit here all day.
Right.
And have to worry about the liability of them leaving.
Oh, yeah, we don't want that. So, yeah.
But, yeah, I think we will. I don't know. I think they look nice, but
Yeah.
maybe get some nicer ones one of these days.
Down the road, yeah.
I guess the most appropriate answer to that question would have been a full-blown liquor license for selling.
Oh, yeah, we could do that, too, I guess. That'd be cool.
Well, I don't know if...
I don't know if will they allow you to sell unlimited and the actual, like, liquor?
Probably not.
I wouldn't think
but
so.
we are the only place that has this license.
Oh, okay.
So the license was kind of designed just for us. So I mean, it was issued by Libertyville.
Yeah.
So like their local township licenses. So I bet if we were to go to, I mean, the way we got this license was we just went and talked to the mayor and we just said, hey, this is kind of what we want to do. We've seen other stores have success with it. And he was super cool about it. He was like, you know, you guys have been here for 40 years. So just draw out a map on where you want it in the store and we'll approve it. So I think if we went back to them and said, hey, everything's going really well, like, can we up it a little bit, our limit on how much we can serve, or, you know, tweak it in this way? I think they would work with us for sure.
Yeah, that's cool.
But I know that they also don't, like, it's not really fair to other bars. I mean, the reason why our pours are so inexpensive here is because like 99.9% of our business is the store,
right,
and the 0.1% is the bar. So like if we relied on the bar's income to cover all the overhead, we definitely wouldn't be able to offer pours for so cheap.
Right.
So that's kind of I think the town's way of making sure that we don't compete and put other bars out of business.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. I've seen other scenarios in other states, but the tasting room or the bar is on a walled off area with a separate entrance to it. So it's in the same building, but a completely separate area that you have to
probably
go into.
Also a separate legal entity too.
Probably a separate, yeah. But you're not going over your limit already, are you, Jake? I just saw you give another little pour there.
We are allowed 3 ounces per person.
Yeah.
And this would be, I'm doing like quarter-ounce pours. It's like 10:30 in the morning.
Healthy quarter-ounce pours.
So I'm at about an ounce right now, but Drew will cut me off as soon as I hit my
Yeah.
That's a good question, too. Have you ever had to throw anybody out of here?
No, I've had to use my voice a couple times, but no, it's all a good environment. And yeah, when we get close to the limit, we can mention that. And also, I have the ability, so I have 3 ounces to work with, so I can drop it down to quarter ounces, half ounces. We can get through, so that's good.
Yeah, I mean, 3 ounces is. Or 3 drinks isn't really enough to get too rowdy.
No,
or it shouldn't be.
And the environment back here, we're like higher knowledge, talking about the spirits and everything. So it's not like, you know, let's have 8 Miller Lights.
Yeah, no one's really showing up here to get smashed.
No one's sitting here to get smashed. They're here to try and, you know, explore different whiskeys and whatnot. Which is also why it's a very cool environment, because you're just hanging out with other like-minded whiskey people, and you get to meet great people who are into the same thing that you are. So,
yes.
So I guess what are you guys all drinking over there then?
We've got a little spread.
I got water.
Drew's
got a
cheers, Drew.
Cheers.
Drew's got a shift coming up. So
yeah.
Well, yeah. And I mean, I guess that's another thing I should shout out to Drew. He surprisingly, I mean, he's very, very good about being responsible. Like anytime I even offer him a little taste of something while he's working, most of the time he'll turn it down. And like you know, you got to know what you're selling. So like if it's a new barrel pick, I want him to try a little bit, but no, he's very good about, you know, making sure that everything's under control. He's following all the rules. So
you had some fun when it was your birthday, though.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that was they will remember for a very long time. Won't remember, but want to.
Well, let's be straight here. Won't remember what happened here.
No, not here.
Yeah.
Afterward.
Yeah, there's, you know, I'm sure there's a lot of people were like offering you pours and whatnot, and like I walk behind the bar and there's like 5 Glencairns filled with toppers on them, and Drew's waiting until after his shift to drink them all. So, props to Drew. But yeah, back to what we're drinking. We just kind of grabbed a little selection off the bar. We've got Peerless Double Oak Rye. We've got a Whistle Pig 15-year single barrel that's really nice. We got Barrel Gray Label Bourbon. We've got the Bardstown Goose Island collaboration. So we knew Dan wasn't here, so we just went with all the heavy hitters.
Yeah.
All the good stuff.
Yeah, the Whistle Pig 15. Is this the that's a pick, right?
It's a pick, yeah.
From somebody else.
Yeah, it's BJ and Dram Good Lamps. It's really, really good.
Yeah, it's very tasty.
I don't know if this guy's serious or not, but I got a message on Instagram while we were recording. Some guy said he's coming in to buy all of these Whistle Pigs that we have. So we can't really promote it too much because I think by the time this episode airs, it's going to be all sold out. But
we can't have that many left because then we only get a couple cases.
we got like 15 bottles.
Okay.
And I know we've sold at least like 3 or 4 already. So, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, and I'm trying the Bardstown collab with Goose Island. It's finished in the Bourbon County Stout barrels. It's decent.
It's 3, I think, 6, 7, and 13 year, correct? And
Yeah.
then
Like 6, 7, and 9 year.
6,
or
7,
11.
no 9,
Nine,
6,
yeah.
7, and 9. But the 6 and
it's-
7,
But there's no Tennessee, right? It's all Kentucky.
it's all Kentucky. Yeah, absolutely.
I liked the other stout finish.
The KBS one.
Yeah, the KBS one was phenomenal. This one's good. It's a little too heavy on the stout flavors for me.
It is pretty stouty.
But yeah, the KBS
KBS
is really good, and you still have some of that.
We do,
right?
yeah. We actually have it on like a closeout, like just get rid of it price.
Yeah.
I do like the Goose Island one. I can see why you maybe don't like it because it is very stouty.
Yeah.
And the sweetness from the Kentucky bourbon kind of just makes it like a really, really dessert like pour, where the KBS one uses Tennessee bourbon, so it's a lot lighter and definitely not as sweet as this one.
Yeah, it's
but-
very chocolatey. And,
yeah. What's interesting about this one though is it's cask strength and it's 100 proof.
Oh
I don't know
wow!
if you caught that.
No, I didn't.
Right on the front of the bottle it says cask strength, but it's 100 proof,
Interesting.
which you don't really see too often from Kentucky.
No,
Like-
that's pretty. That's very low
Yeah.
for cast strength.
Mhm.
That's interesting.
So I don't know where they got these barrels from, but it must have been like a 100 entry proof,
Yeah,
where they were sitting super low somewhere where they just dropped in proof.
yeah. Huh. That's interesting.
What are you drinking, Dan?
I am drinking the Lord's whiskey, which is water. It has been filtered through a Samsung refrigerator, aged in the
so it's
glass
chill
about
filtered.
chill filtered in the Samsung thing. I'm still on some post surgery medications that aren't allowing me to drink, and that's been about the most difficult part of the surgery the last few days. So I will just keep drinking my water. Still tastes great though. Not much of a nose on it. Not much of a finish. Pretty smooth, I would say.
Yeah, smooth like Blanton's, right?
Yeah. But
What else?
well,
Drew?
if we don't have any other questions for Drew, you can always go see Drew and ask him more questions
Yeah.
at Gold Eagle.
Yeah, we'll be here till 7 today.
We won't be putting this out there though until another day.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
More than likely, he'll be there till 7.
Yeah, I'll be there
yes.
till 7 probably.
More than
Or
likely he'll be
later,
here
I don't
till
know.
8. He's usually here till
Yeah,
8.
I'll
but
say 8. That's
go
good.
to our website on the homepage. You can see the hours pretty much every day, early afternoon till 8. But I don't know. Is there anything else you want to say, or
Well, should we play Would You Rather with Drew?
maybe? Yeah,
Yeah.
Ooh.
You have a couple.
Well, we have a few
All right, yeah.
minutes here.
Yeah. I mean, we have time. We have 20 minutes until the bar opens, and I can always jump over there and pour someone something if we need to.
So
We've got a
let's see. What was one of the ones from the Would You Rather episode? Would you rather drink? Well, this is an easy one for you. Sub 100 proof whiskey for the rest of your life, or over 120 proof
Oh,
for the
man.
rest of your life.
Absolutely. Somewhat.
Would you rather drink bourbon for the rest of your life or beer if you had to pick
Ooh,
one or the
that's
other?
Oh,
one.
man. That's a stumper. Can I do barrel-aged beer, maybe?
I mean, it's a beer.
Qualifies.
Yeah.
You only do beer. You can do all beer.
Yeah, I'd probably go with beer. Bourbon's nice, but they go nice together, I feel. Yeah, it was just one or the other beer.
What else do you like to drink? I know it's not a would you rather, but
are you like a clear liquor person at all?
With spirits, what do you like to drink?
Not really clear spirits, like a vodka or something. Not really. I mean, if you make it into a cocktail, possibly, but like
Screwdriver action.
Maybe just a little.
You like rum, right?
Yeah, I mean, some rum is nice. Like those single barrels that we did, the El Sueton at 110. I really like that one. Yeah, I like sipping the rums. Yeah, absolutely. Maybe just open it up with a little bit of water. So
okay.
He also sometimes likes his rum and cokes. You don't have to.
Well, if it's a Friday, I mean, Friday night.
So dark rum you prefer?
Yeah,
it's fair.
Dark and Stormies are actually a really good cocktail too.
Oh yeah.
What about outside of work? What do you like to do outside of work?
Besides movies.
Yeah. Well, so because I live,
you're like a restaurant connoisseur too, kind of.
Yeah, I do like going out to eat. There's a place in town here, the Harbor Cafe. I go there. Gosh, it seems like twice a week for lunch. That's pretty cool. Like their food there. They have a really aggressive lunch special, so that's awesome.
Nice.
In the movie theater, there's that CM Chicken outside of it. That's another one that I like to go to.
Nice.
Yeah, they have like a little robot bringing your food in. Far out back.
Nice.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Well, yeah. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's a lot of.
You enjoyed
it?
it?
Had fun.
You want to do it again?
That sounds great.
Absolutely. Sweet.
All right. Dan, you want to tell us where you can listen to Bourbon Matters so I don't have to do it?
Oh, God dang it. Yeah, on any of your normal podcasting apps that you use, you can find Bourbon Matters. You can find us on YouTube by searching Bourbon Matters, or our Facebook and our Instagram are at Bourbon Matters. Is that right? Did I do that? Correct?
Yeah, you're mediocre, but that's okay.
Sounds like the story of my life, but I'll take it.
All right, now you do the real Bourbon Matters plugs, Jake.
Yeah, so you can listen to Bourbon Matters on any podcast platform and watch us on YouTube and Spotify. Like, subscribe, share, leave comments, leave us some would you rather questions. So next time we have Drew on, we can ask him some questions.
Leave us more Drew questions too,
Yeah.
and then we'll have Drew on in like a month or two, maybe again, and we can ask all those.
Drew, do you want to plug Gold Eagle?
Yeah, I mean, it's basically plugs itself with being so good. But
Ooh, well done.
That was the best plug so far.
I didn't say it. No, but yeah.
Yeah, Gold Eagle, goldeaglewine.com. Definitely follow us on Facebook and Instagram to keep up with all our new deliveries. Facebook at Gold Eagle Spirits, Instagram at Gold Eagle Wine. You'll see what we get delivered every day, and then make sure you download our app so you can check our inventory and secure bottles before they sell out. Some stuff sells out quick.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, like that Whistle Pig today. That's helpful.
Well, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I did get a request for another Bourbon Matters tasting this week.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll have to get that on the books and actually get Dan out here when he's not crippled. So sometime before the end of the year, hopefully.
Does it bother you that people wanted me to be there and I wasn't there? Does that just like rub you guys the wrong way?
You. They said I did a really good job of picking the whiskey, and they were like, I was like, oh yeah, too bad Dan wasn't there. And they're like, who's Dan? I don't care about that guy.
I asked about you, Dan. Don't worry.
I know.
All right. We'll see you next week then.
Cheers, guys.
Yeah,
Cheers.
Cheers.
Thanks, Drew.
Thank you.